The sun burned fiercely over the endless deserts of Zolara. Waves of golden sand stretched to the horizon, shifting with every wind that swept across the barren land. Mara shaded her eyes with her hand and stared at the distant outline of stone. Ruins poking through the dunes. The humans had landed on this planet a week ago, and every day had brought more questions than answers. "This place feels different," said Timo, her assistant, brushing sand from his suit. "Like it's waiting for someone." Mara smiled slightly. Humans had a way of seeing possibility in every corner of the universe, even where nothing seemed alive. She had always believed that curiosity was their greatest strength. It had driven them to climb mountains, dive into oceans, and now explore alien worlds. As the team approached the ruins, their boots sank into the warm sand. The structures were ancient, worn by time, but their shapes were unusual. Smooth walls rose from the ground with strange carvings of creatures Mara did not recognize. Symbols covered every surface, some glowing faintly under the sun. "Look at this," said Nari, pointing to a wall that shimmered like gold. "The patterns, they're almost like a language." Mara stepped closer. "Or a message," she said. "We need to be careful. This might be more than just a ruin." Humans were known for their boldness, but they were also careful when needed. They moved slowly, inspecting every corner, noting every mark and pattern. As they went deeper into the ruins, the air grew cooler and a soft humming filled the space. The sound was low, almost like it came from the stones themselves. "What is that?" Timo whispered, his eyes wide. "It feels alive," said Mara, feeling a thrill run through her chest. Humans loved puzzles, mysteries, and challenges. This place had all three. They followed the hum through a narrow passage until they reached a massive stone door. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. A scarab, carved in gold, rested at its center, its eyes shining with a strange light. "It's beautiful," said Nari, "but I have no idea how to open it." Mara examined the carvings. Lines connected the scarab to symbols on the wall, forming a pattern that seemed intentional. "I think it's a puzzle," she said. "The Zolarans, or whoever built this, wanted someone to solve it before entering." Timo frowned. "And if we fail?" Mara shrugged. "Then we learn and try again. That's what humans do. We don't give up." For hours, they worked together, tracing symbols, pressing stones, and observing how the carvings responded. Each human had a role. Mara led, Timo tested ideas, and Nari recorded every detail. Slowly, the scarab's eyes glowed brighter with each correct move, as if encouraging them forward. Finally, the stone door shuddered. Dust fell from the edges, and a low rumble echoed through the chamber. The door slid open, revealing a wide hall filled with golden light. Sand dusted the floor, and massive statues lined the walls, each depicting creatures that seemed part insect, part bird. The humans stepped inside cautiously, hearts pounding with excitement. "This is incredible," whispered Mara. "No, other species could have done this. Humans are different. We see beyond the obvious." The team moved carefully, taking notes and photographing every detail. The hum grew louder here, vibrating through the floor. It was a welcome sound, almost guiding them toward the heart of the chamber. The walls were covered in glowing hieroglyphs, telling a story that humans would spend years trying to understand. As they ventured deeper, Mara felt a sense of wonder she had not experienced before. The desert outside was harsh and unforgiving, but inside the ruins, there was a quiet intelligence. Whoever built this chamber had designed it with care, leaving signs that only a thoughtful species could decipher. Humans had reached this place, not by brute force, but by patience, creativity, and teamwork. At the center of the hall, the humans paused. A pedestal rose from the floor, and on it lay a small golden object shaped like a scarab. Its surface gleamed as if freshly polished, and its eyes sparkled with an inner light. Mara reached out slowly, feeling the warmth of the metal beneath her fingers. "This is just the beginning," she said softly. "Whatever is hidden here, it's meant for us to find. We are the first humans to see it. We might be the first anyone has seen in centuries." The team stood together, looking around in awe. The chamber was vast, silent except for the hum that seemed to echo the beating of their hearts. Mara knew that beyond this moment, challenges would come and dangers would wait. But humans had always faced the unknown. They adapted. They solved. And they never gave up. Outside, the desert stretched endlessly, golden under the sun. Inside, the chamber held secrets older than any human mind could imagine. And Mara and her team were ready to uncover them all. As the humans explored deeper into the chamber, an unusual silence settled around them. The soft hum of the walls seemed to grow louder with every step, as if the building itself were alive and aware of their presence. Mara led the team cautiously, her eyes scanning the carvings and symbols that lined the walls. Each one told a story, but it was not a story they could read quickly. It was like the chamber expected patience, observation, and careful thought. "This place, it feels like it's watching us," whispered Timo. He brushed his hair from his forehead and adjusted his visor. Mara nodded. Humans had always felt curiosity in the unknown, but this was different. It was a feeling that something intelligent had left a message, and they were the first to hear it. "We need to keep moving," she said. "We are the first humans here. Every step matters." Meanwhile, far above the desert, a group of alien observers floated silently in their orbiting vessel. They were sleek, with translucent bodies that reflected the sunlight in colors humans could not imagine. Their eyes, shaped like elongated crystals, followed every movement of the humans below. "Humans," one of the aliens said, its voice melodic and calm. "They are unlike any other species we have observed. They do not rush. They examine. They think." Another alien tilted its body, curious. "And yet they survive in conditions that would destroy others. It is as if they are designed to adapt, to endure, and to uncover." The aliens had studied countless species across galaxies, yet none had shown the combination of courage, creativity, and teamwork that humans displayed. Mara's team was solving puzzles that had remained untouched for centuries, navigating a chamber filled with challenges that could have defeated other explorers. Back inside the chamber, the team reached a hallway that opened into a circular room. At its center, a pool of crystal-clear liquid reflected the golden glow from the walls. Strange markings surrounded the pool, depicting creatures flying, crawling, and diving in unison. "This must be important," said Nari, kneeling by the pool. "The Zolarans, or whoever created this, wanted to show something. Look at the shapes. They move like a story." Mara stepped closer, watching her reflection ripple in the water. Humans have always understood movement, patterns, and connection. That is why we are here. The chamber is testing us in ways no one else could pass. Timo reached toward the water carefully, and the pool responded. The liquid shimmered and rose slightly, forming a glowing path that led to the other side of the room. The humans exchanged glances. They had expected danger, but instead, the chamber rewarded their careful approach. "This is incredible," Mara said. "It's like it wants us to follow, but only if we respect it." They moved along the glowing path, step by step, until they reached another door. This one was larger and more intricate than the first. Golden scarabs were carved all over it, each one positioned as if protecting something. The humans paused. The challenge here would be greater as they studied the carvings. The aliens in orbit leaned closer, watching. "Observe," said the first alien. Humans are patient. They communicate with each other. They share ideas instead of competing. This is remarkable. Inside the chamber, Mara traced her fingers over the carvings. Symbols responded to her touch, glowing softly. She looked at her team. This is more than a lock. It is a test of thought, observation, and cooperation. We have to think together. Hours passed as the humans worked. They pressed symbols in. Different sequences listened to the sounds of the chamber and recorded every response. The aliens above whispered among themselves, fascinated by the human approach. No other species had ever shown this combination of intelligence, persistence, and empathy. Finally, the golden scarabs on the door aligned. A low hum echoed through the room, growing louder and stronger until the door slowly slid open. Beyond, it lay a vast hall, larger than anything they had imagined. Light poured in from a hidden source, revealing statues, murals, and objects that gleamed as if freshly polished. Mara stepped forward, her heart racing with excitement. This is what humans do. We find the impossible and make it possible. We do not stop when it is difficult. We work together and overcome every obstacle. The team spread out to examine the hall, documenting every detail. The air was filled with a sense of history and intelligence, as if the chamber itself recognized the humans' efforts. The glowing symbols along the walls seemed to react, pulsating gently as they moved, almost like a heartbeat. Outside, the desert continued to stretch endlessly under the sun. From above, the alien observers noted that the humans were unlike any other life they had seen. Perhaps this is why humans survive. One alien said quietly, "They're not just strong or clever. They understand patience, teamwork, and curiosity. They are capable of things no one else can imagine." Inside the chamber, Mara and her team had no way of knowing they were being watched. They were focused entirely on the discovery before them. Every step brought them closer to understanding the secrets of the golden scarab chamber. They had proven, even in these first hours, that humans could face challenges with intelligence and heart, and that the universe held more wonders than they had ever dreamed. Mara looked at her team and smiled. "This is just the beginning," she said softly. "The chamber has more to show us, and we are ready. Humans do not give up. We will uncover every secret." And with that, they moved forward, deeper into the mysteries that awaited, unaware that their actions had already earned the attention and respect of observers far beyond their world. The humans moved cautiously into the next chamber. The air was cooler here, and a faint golden glow lit the walls. Shadows danced across the floor as their footsteps echoed softly. This room was unlike any they had seen before. The floor was covered in large stone panels that seemed to shift slightly when stepped on. Each panel had strange symbols carved into it. "This looks like a trap," Timo said, staring at the floor. "If we make one wrong step, something could happen." Mara studied the panels carefully. Humans had always faced challenges like this. They did not panic. They observed, tested, and learned. "We will not rush," she said. "We need to understand how it works before moving forward." Nari knelt beside one panel, touching the symbols lightly. The symbols glowed faintly under her fingertips. "It responds to pressure," she said. "Maybe it is like a puzzle. We need to step in the right order." The team paused and studied the patterns. Humans had a unique way of thinking that combined creativity and logic. They communicated silently with gestures, testing theories without disturbing the delicate balance of the panels. Every movement was careful, deliberate, and thoughtful. The chamber responded to their actions. Some panels shifted slightly, while others remained solid. They began to notice a rhythm, a pattern that guided their steps. Mara smiled. Humans had an instinct for patterns, an ability to see connections that others often missed. Hours passed, as they moved slowly across the floor. Mistakes happened, but they learned from each one. The glowing symbols provided feedback, and the team adjusted their strategy. Their teamwork and patience were remarkable. Other species might have given up in frustration, but humans thrived on challenges. Finally, they reached the center of the chamber. A pedestal rose from the floor, and on it sat a golden scarab with eyes that glowed like tiny suns. The pedestal was surrounded by carvings that seemed to tell a story. Mara approached carefully. "This must be the heart of the chamber," she said. "The scarab is important, but it is also a message. We need to understand it before touching it." The aliens in orbit above watched silently. "They are remarkable," one said. "They do not act recklessly. They observe, communicate, and think together. This combination is rare in the universe." Mara traced the carvings with her fingers, studying the story. It seemed to describe a civilization that had once lived on Zolara. They were intelligent, curious, and careful. They created this chamber to protect something valuable, something that required not just strength, but thought and understanding to access. NAR, I studied the glowing eyes of the scarab. "It feels like it is waiting for us," she said. "Waiting for someone to solve the puzzle," Mara nodded. Humans had always been explorers, thinkers, and problem solvers. They approached the pedestal together, each contributing their ideas. Step by step, they moved closer, testing hypotheses about how to unlock the secret of the scarab. Suddenly, a low hum filled the chamber. The floor beneath them vibrated slightly, and the scarab's eyes glowed brighter. The team paused. The chamber was responding to their combined efforts. Their intelligence, cooperation, and persistence were activating a mechanism that had remained dormant for centuries. "This is it," Mara whispered. "We're doing what no one else has done in hundreds of years." The scarab lifted slightly from its pedestal, hovering in the air. Golden light filled the chamber, reflecting off the walls and casting intricate patterns across the floor. The carvings glowed more brightly, and the symbols seemed to shift, revealing new paths and messages. Timo stepped forward carefully. "It wants us to follow," he said. "We have to keep going." Mara led the way, her heart racing with excitement. Humans had always been brave in the face of the unknown. They did not fear the challenges ahead. They embraced them. Every step they took, every decision they made, demonstrated the qualities that had allowed humans to explore the universe: courage, curiosity, and intelligence. The team moved deeper into the chamber. They discovered new puzzles, each more complex than the last. Some required careful observation. Others required precise timing. Each challenge tested their patience and creativity, but the humans never wavered. They worked together, learning from mistakes and celebrating small successes. Above the desert, the aliens continued to watch. "No other species could do this," one said quietly. "They are persistent, intelligent, and cooperative. They are exceptional." The humans reached a large archway at the end of the chamber. Light spilled through from the next room, golden and warm. Mara paused and looked at her team. "Whatever is beyond this archway, we are ready," she said. Humans do not give up. We solve problems, face challenges, and uncover the unknown. That is who we are. They stepped through the archway together, ready to face whatever secrets the golden scarab chamber held next. The chamber had tested them, but it had also recognized their abilities. The humans had proven themselves capable of things no other species had, and the adventure was only beginning. The desert outside remained silent, vast, and golden. But inside the chamber, the story of the Zolara civilization was unfolding through. The courage, intelligence, and determination of humans. Mara smiled. "This is just the beginning," she said softly. "We are the first to see this, and we will uncover every secret." The humans stepped into the next room, and the air felt warmer and brighter. The walls shimmered with golden light, reflecting patterns that moved like liquid. At the center of the chamber stood a massive golden scarab, larger than any insect they had ever seen. Its wings were spread wide, and its eyes glowed with a soft, steady light. The scarab rested on a pedestal covered in intricate carvings that seemed to tell a story. Mara approached carefully. Humans had always been curious, but they respected what they did not yet understand. She knelt beside the pedestal, tracing the carvings with her fingers. "This is incredible," she whispered. "It is not just a statue. It is a record of knowledge, a memory of the Zolara civilization." Nari stepped closer and examined the scarab's wings. "The patterns here are like a map," she said. "Look at the lines. They connect different points on the walls. Maybe it is guiding us to something hidden." Timo circled the pedestal, observing the scarab from all angles. "It feels alive," he said. "Not in the way humans are alive, but like it has awareness. It is waiting for us to understand it." Mara nodded. Humans had always had a gift for understanding complex systems. They did not rush. They observed, tested, and learned. "We need to follow the map," she said. "Carefully, step by step." The team studied the carvings and noticed symbols that seemed to respond to touch. When they pressed certain parts of the pedestal, the scarab's eyes glowed brighter, and the golden light shifted to illuminate a hidden pathway along the walls. It was as if the scarab itself was guiding them. "This is remarkable," Nari said. "The Zolarans designed this so only those who could think and work together could find the path. It is a test of intelligence and cooperation." The humans moved along the hidden pathway, stepping carefully as the wall shifted slightly to reveal new symbols and carvings. Each section seemed to tell a story about the Zolarans, their culture, their achievements, and their respect for knowledge. Humans had always valued learning, and now they were seeing a civilization that had valued it even more. Hours passed, but the team did not grow tired. Their excitement and curiosity kept them moving. Every discovery felt like a reward, and every puzzle they solved strengthened their confidence. The scarab's light guided them, and the chamber seemed to respond to their progress. Finally, they reached a large door at the end of the pathway. It was covered with golden carvings of scarabs, each one positioned as if guarding the secrets within. The humans paused, studying the door. Mara traced the patterns with her fingers. "The door is a final test," she said. "We have come this far, and now we must prove ourselves again." The team worked together, pressing symbols in careful sequences, observing how the carvings reacted and adjusting their actions. The chamber seemed to be alive, responding to their intelligence and cooperation. The aliens observing from above were silent, amazed. "Humans are exceptional," one said. "No other species could move through these chambers with patience and understanding. They are unique." Finally, the door began to open. Golden light spilled into the room, and the humans stepped forward together. Inside, they saw a small, perfectly preserved chamber. At its center rested a golden scarab, smaller than the one outside, but glowing with even brighter light. It hovered slightly above a pedestal, as if waiting for someone to take it. Mara approached slowly. "This must be the heart of the chamber," she said. "The Zolarans left it here for a reason. We must understand it before we touch it." Timo examined the pedestal. "There are symbols here too," he said. "They look like instructions. We need to follow them carefully." The team studied the carvings and realized they described a way to lift the scarab safely. Humans had always been capable of solving problems with care and patience, and now those qualities were essential. Step by step, they followed the instructions. The scarab's light grew brighter as they worked, and a soft hum filled the chamber. Finally, the scarab arose from the pedestal and floated into Mara's hands. It was warm, and its glow pulsed gently. Humans had always been able to connect with objects of knowledge, feeling their significance and value.
Mara smiled. "We did it," she said softly.
"We have unlocked the secret." Nari and Timo looked around in awe. The chamber seemed to react to their success. The walls glowed brighter, and the carvings shifted to reveal new stories of the Zolorans. Humans had proven themselves capable of understanding, respecting, and unlocking the mysteries left by a civilization far older and wiser than themselves. Outside, the desert remained quiet, but the humans inside the chamber had accomplished something extraordinary. They had solved the puzzles, followed the guidance of the golden scarab, and discovered a treasure of knowledge that had been hidden for centuries. Mara looked at her team. "This is just the beginning," she said. "The Zolorans left us more than a scarab. They left a message about curiosity, patience, and cooperation. We will carry this knowledge forward, and humans will continue to explore, learn, and grow." The chamber pulsed with light one last time, as if acknowledging their success. The humans had proven themselves worthy of the Zoloran's secret, and the story of the Golden Scarab Chamber was only beginning to unfold. The humans held the glowing scarab carefully as they moved deeper into the chamber. The walls seemed to pulse with energy, golden lines shifting and connecting like living circuits. Every step they took echoed softly, and the golden light revealed more symbols and carvings, telling the story of the Zolara civilization. Mara paused and studied a panel on the wall. "Look at this," she said. "It is showing machines or tools powered by energy we have never seen before." The Zolorans were not just explorers. They were inventors, scientists, and engineers. Mari traced the glowing lines with her fingers. "This technology is ancient, but it seems almost alive. The carvings suggest it could be activated if we understand it correctly." The Zolorans left instructions hidden in the symbols. Timo looked at the scarab. "It must be a key. Everything in this chamber responds to it. Without the scarab, we could never reach this part of the chamber. Humans have always been curious, and now we have to be careful and thoughtful. One mistake could trigger something we do not understand." The humans moved forward, examining panels and carvings carefully. Some panels projected small golden images into the air, forming three-dimensional diagrams of machines and energy flows. Humans had a unique ability to understand visual patterns and imagine how things worked. Mara pointed to one image. "This shows a device that stores energy, maybe like a battery, but much more advanced. We have never seen anything like it." Nari studied another panel. "The energy lines connect to different parts of the chamber. It seems the whole room was designed to focus energy into a central point. Perhaps the scarab itself is part of this system." As they walked, the floor beneath them began to hum gently. The carvings on the walls shifted, responding to their movements. Humans had always been able to sense patterns and rhythms in nature. They adjusted their pace and position, and the chamber reacted positively, the golden light brightening as if approving their careful steps. Suddenly, a panel in front of them slid open, revealing a small compartment. Inside, there was a glowing orb, smaller than the scarab, but radiating warmth and light. Mara picked it up carefully. "This must be another part of the Zolara technology. Maybe it works with the scarab to unlock the final secrets of the chamber." Timo examined the orb. "It feels like it has a purpose, like it wants to connect with something." The Zolorans were not only intelligent, but they created objects that interact with each other. Humans have a unique way of understanding relationships between things. That is what is helping us now. They continued through the chamber, discovering more devices and carvings. Each discovery was a piece of a larger puzzle, a story of how the Zolorans harnessed energy and knowledge. The humans were careful, observing each device, understanding its purpose, and respecting its complexity. Hours passed, but their curiosity and determination kept them moving. The chambers seemed endless, and it also responded to their presence. The scarab and the orb glowed brighter as they progressed, as if guiding them toward a final revelation. Finally, they reached a massive central chamber. The walls were covered in golden carvings, depicting Zolarans working together, building machines, and exploring the stars. In the center, a large platform hovered slightly above the floor, covered in intricate patterns. Mara looked at the platform. "This is it," she said. "Everything we have found leads here." The Zolarans wanted us to understand their work and unlock the power of this place. Nari placed the scarab and the orb on the platform. The symbols on the floor began to glow, and golden light spread across the chamber. Energy lines connected the devices, forming a network of light that pulsed in rhythm. Humans had always been able to see connections others might miss, and now their understanding was activating a system that had remained dormant for centuries. The platform rose slowly, revealing a hidden compartment beneath. Inside, there were tools and devices that seemed to combine technology and art, machines that could harness energy in ways humans had never imagined. The carvings indicated that this technology was meant to help civilizations explore, protect, and understand the universe. Timo looked at the team. "This is incredible." The Zolarans left this as a gift, but only for those who could prove themselves capable. Humans have always been curious, intelligent, and persistent. That is why we are here. Mara smiled. "This chamber is more than a treasure. It is a lesson. It teaches patience, cooperation, and respect for knowledge. Humans have the ability to learn, adapt, and solve problems. That is what the Zolarans recognized. The humans spent hours studying the devices, documenting their discoveries, and understanding how each part connected to the whole system. The chamber was alive with knowledge, and the humans were absorbing it carefully, step by step. Above the desert, the aliens watched in awe. "Humans are extraordinary," one said. "They are not just explorers. They are thinkers, problem solvers, and learners. No other species could have unlocked this chamber." Mara looked at the glowing scarab and orb. "We have only just begun to understand this place," she said. "The Zolarans left their secrets for a reason. We must continue, and we will discover everything they wanted us to find." The golden scarab chamber had revealed its ancient technology, and humans had proven themselves capable of understanding and respecting it. The story of the Zolara civilization was unfolding, and the humans were at the heart of it, ready to uncover the mysteries that could change their understanding of the universe forever. The humans stood in the central chamber, still amazed by the golden light and the devices they had uncovered. The scarab and the glowing orb rested on the platform, and the energy in the room seemed to hum with life. Mara took a deep breath. "We have learned a lot, but I feel there is something more. The chamber is not finished with us yet." Nari examined the carvings on the walls. "Look at these patterns," she said. "They are moving, changing. The Zolarans might be showing us a story, something about their past. Humans are good at reading patterns and connecting the pieces. We can figure this out." Timo nodded. "I think the chamber wants us to understand why it was built. The technology is amazing, but there is a reason behind it. The Zolarans wanted to leave a message, not just tools." As they focused, the carvings on the walls shifted, forming images that seemed almost real. Humans had always been curious, and their eyes caught every detail. They saw Zolarans exploring planets, building machines, studying stars, and helping each other. The carvings told of a civilization that valued knowledge, peace, and discovery above all else. Suddenly, a section of the wall glowed brighter. A hidden panel opened, revealing a circular doorway. Golden light spilled from the opening, and the humans felt a gentle warmth as if the chamber was welcoming them forward. Mara stepped closer. "This must lead to the final secret," she said. "We have come so far, and now we must see what the Zolorans wanted us to learn." The humans entered the doorway and found themselves in a smaller chamber. At the center was a pedestal with a crystal globe, perfectly clear, but glowing from within. Inside the globe, they could see stars, planets, and galaxies moving in patterns. "It was like looking at the universe itself," Nari gasped. "It is showing the cosmos, the way energy moves, the way planets orbit, the way life can grow." The Zolorans understood everything. They saw the universe as a connected whole, and they wanted us to see it too. Timo reached out, but Mara stopped him. "We need to observe first. Humans have always been careful when learning something new. Let us understand this before we touch it." The globe began to respond to their presence. Light shifted and patterns changed, as if the Zolorans had designed it to recognize intelligence and cooperation. Humans had always excelled at working together and thinking logically. Mara realized that the chamber was testing them one last time. Hours passed as they studied the globe. They traced patterns, compared symbols, and followed the movements of energy. Slowly, the globe revealed a message. It was not just about science or technology. It was about understanding, respect, and the responsibility that comes with knowledge. "The Zolorans wanted us to see the universe," Mara said softly. "But they also wanted us to learn how to care for it. Their technology is not just for power. It is for wisdom, for balance, for protecting life." Nari nodded. "Humans have the ability to explore and learn, but also the responsibility to use knowledge wisely. That is the message. That is why the chamber exists." Timo looked at the crystal globe with wonder. "We have been tested from the moment we entered the chamber. We solved puzzles, understood energy, and worked together. The Zolorans wanted to see if we were ready for this knowledge, and I think we are." The chamber pulsed with light, and a soft hum filled the air. It was as if the Zolorans themselves were acknowledging the human success. The scarab and orb on the platform glowed even brighter, linking to the globe and completing the connection of knowledge. Mara smiled. We have learned much, but we must take this knowledge back. The universe is vast, and humans have a role to play. We can use what we have learned to explore, to protect, and to share wisdom." The humans spent more time observing the globe, understanding the patterns of galaxies and the flow of energy. Each discovery was a lesson, and each lesson strengthened their understanding of the universe. The Zolorans had created more than a chamber. They had created a school, a guide, and a challenge all in one. As they prepared to leave the chamber, Mara looked at her team. "We must remember this place and what it taught us. The Golden Scarab Chamber is not just a treasure. It is a responsibility, a call to use knowledge wisely." Nari nodded. "Humans are explorers, but we are also learners. This chamber has shown us that wisdom is more important than power. Cooperation is more important than competition. That is the Zolorans' gift." Timo smiled. "We are ready. We will carry this knowledge forward, and humans will continue to grow and explore. The Golden Scarab Chamber has opened a new path for us." The chamber seemed to hum one last time, golden light bathing the walls, as if giving the humans a blessing. They had unlocked the final secret, learned the message of the Zolorans, and proven themselves capable of understanding and respecting the ancient wisdom. Outside, the desert was quiet, but inside the humans had discovered the meaning of the chamber. It was a place of learning, of responsibility, and of connection to the universe. Humans had passed the test, and the story of the Golden Scarab Chamber was ready to continue, leading them to new discoveries and adventures beyond imagination. The humans stepped out of the Golden Scarab Chamber into the bright desert sun. The wind swept across the sand, but their minds were still filled with the light and knowledge of the chamber. The scarab and the glowing orb were secure in their hands, their golden shine reflecting the sun. Mara looked at the horizon. We have learned everything the Zolorans wanted us to know, but now the real challenge begins. We must use this knowledge wisely. Nari adjusted her pack. The chamber gave us tools, information, and lessons. The universe is much bigger than we imagined, and humans have a chance to explore and protect it. We cannot keep this knowledge only to ourselves. Timo pointed toward the mountains in the distance. The desert hides many secrets. If the Zolorans left this chamber here, perhaps they left others. Humans have a role now, to seek, to learn, and to use what we have discovered, to help life wherever we find it. As they walked, the sand beneath their feet shifted strangely. The humans noticed small glowing trails appearing where they stepped. It was as if the chamber's energy had followed them, leaving a path of light. The desert seemed alive in a new way, responding to the humans' presence. Mara smiled. The chamber's power is not limited to the walls. It extends into the world. We must be careful, but it also guides us. Suddenly, the air shimmered, and a figure appeared before them. It was a tall being, humanoid in shape, but its skin glowed faintly gold, and its eyes sparkled like stars. "Humans," the being said in a voice that seemed to echo in their minds, "you have completed the challenge of the Golden Scarab Chamber. You have learned patience, wisdom, and cooperation. You have proven that your species is ready to understand and use the knowledge of the Zolorans." Mara stepped forward. "Who are you? Are you a Zolaran?" The being nodded. "We are guardians. Our civilization has long since moved beyond physical form, but we remain to guide those who can learn." The chamber was a test, a gift, and a message. Now it is your turn to carry the wisdom forward. Timo held the scarab carefully. "We understand the responsibility. We will protect this knowledge, share it with those who are ready, and use it to explore and help life across the universe." The Guardian's glow brightened. There is one final lesson. Knowledge alone is not enough. You must face a challenge, one that will test your courage, unity, and understanding. The desert holds a hidden danger that only those who have learned the ways of the Zolorans can overcome. Before they could ask more, the sand in front of them began to shift violently. From beneath the ground, massive stone creatures emerged. They had long limbs, glowing eyes, and bodies carved with ancient symbols. They were guardians of the desert, awakened by the energy of the chamber. Mara realized immediately that this was the final test. Humans must work together, she shouted. Remember what we learned. Patience, observation, and cooperation. The creatures moved slowly but powerfully, blocking their path. Nari observed their movements carefully. They respond to patterns. If we move with purpose and predict their steps, we can get through without fighting. We need to understand their rhythm. The humans spread out, each observing and learning the creature's motions. They noticed that the creatures reacted not to force, but to intelligence and harmony. When the humans moved together in a synchronized way, the creatures paused, allowing them to advance. Timo led the team across the desert, guiding them through the creature's path with careful steps. The glowing scarab and orb pulsed in response, helping to align the humans' movements with the rhythm of the guardians. The team stayed calm, communicated clearly, and relied on each other's observations. After tense moments, they reached the far side of the desert. The stone guardians paused, then slowly sank back into the sand, their glow fading. The final test was complete. The humans had proven that they could use knowledge wisely, act with patience, and work together as one. The guardian appeared once more. You have succeeded. The Golden Scarab Chamber was only the beginning. The universe is open to you. Go forward with courage and wisdom. Share what you have learned and protect the balance of life wherever you go. Mara looked at her. Team, we did it. This knowledge is now part of us.
The Chamber, the Zolarans, the Guardians, they trusted us.
We must honor that trust, Nari smiled. Humans have always dreamed of exploring the stars. Now, we have the knowledge and the responsibility. Our future is limitless. Tino held the Scarab up to the sunlight. The golden light reflected across the desert like a signal to the universe. This is not the end. It is only the beginning of what humans can achieve. We will carry the wisdom of the Zolarans with us, and we will use it for good. The humans walked toward the horizon, the desert calm and peaceful once more. Behind them, the golden Scarab chamber stood silently, its secrets revealed, its lessons learned, and its guardians satisfied. Humans had passed every test, gained the wisdom of an ancient civilization, and taken the first steps toward a future filled with exploration, understanding, and hope. The universe was waiting, and the humans were ready